Hey guys, yesterday I showed you the 9mm that came in last Wednesday. Now I'm going to show you the 7.65. Some really nice guns here, so you're going to want to watch. So here are the smaller caliber weapons, and actually the smallest caliber is a 25 caliber right here. And this is a beautiful Walther Model 8. Made in the 30s, I would say, and it's kind of special. Normally I wouldn't even show it to you because Model 8s, well, they're not common, but they're not very rare. This is very rare, however, because of the police mark on the front strap. Now, a lot of people would say, well, these never went to the police, but aha, they did. Usually it would be like a special order, maybe just getting one or two, and it was used as a backup piece. In fact, if I go to Dieter Marschall's book, a researcher and collector in Germany, he talks about Walther pistols, and he does all the different models. Highly recommend the book. It is available on our website. And he goes through the Model 8 and talks about who used them. He mentions in this paragraph, page 32, he mentions right here that actually Adolf Hitler had one sewn into the inside pocket of his trousers. We know later that he had a PP that he carried on his belt, a PPK that he kept in his trousers. I didn't want to say he kept a PP in his trousers, but earlier on, and it has been verified, he had a Model 8 that was sewn into his trousers. Now, as the story goes, and I don't know that this has been proven, he was having an affair with his niece. Maybe it was just emotional, but he was having an affair with his niece. He gave her the gun for protection. She stayed in the apartment, wasn't allowed to leave when he was on trips and things. She stayed in the apartment, and she was so despondent that she used a Model 8 to kill herself. But that's not this gun, so let's get back to the point at hand, which is some of these were then used by plainclothes policemen as a backup weapon. It would easily fit in a vest pocket, and some of them went to police, Gestapo, anybody who was considered a plainclothes detective or state security could have ordered this Model 8. It's conjecture as to what this means, but the SP is usually state police. The C would be the town where this was issued, but security police or state police. Now, one other verifying factor is the last 3 digits of the serial number are on the bottom of the magazine. I don't believe these are factory markings, but after it was sold, this was done by the police arsenal, and they typically would have numbered the magazine. Commercial gun would never have a numbered magazine. There's the serial number, and you see 036. A little harder to see here is 036. So this is a very rare gun. Somebody out there is going to want to snatch this up. Okay, for me personally, this is the most exciting gun on the table because I'm a Walther collector, PPK. This is like new in the box. This is an original box. It has the oval label. And I'll spoiler alert, this is handwritten here, and it matches, and you can see the last number here is 7, but there's one number cut off. So this is all matching number, and the last digit is cut off. It is a DRP pistol, which is the Postal Department, Deutsche Reich Postal. This is about a 99% gun, beautiful. Here you see the serial number, 955672, and very faint, but that does match except for the 2 on the end, which is cut off. So it's close to matching. Beautiful gun. There's the interior. This is all pink interior. This is just paper to keep it from getting any oil on it. It has a spare magazine, has the dummy rounds. This is the cleaning rod in here, original cleaning rod, and it has the original cellophane, but the baggie is not original. It does have the original cellophane, kind of cool. Let's see what's in the tin. This is an early tin because it has a picture of the factory, and you can see the oiler, which we call the milk can oiler. For obvious reasons, and then the rag and what some people call horsehair to clean the bore. It's like new condition. I originally got this from my friend who passed away, Peter Hischer, and then the person who bought it kept it for a couple of years, and now we're offering it again. You can see the manual is dated 1939 right there. Manual is dated April of 1939. So put it back together again. We've got the gun. We've got the manual, the tin, the almost matching box, all but the last numeral. Now let's go to the next one. This is in a beautiful holster. It's going to be an Akka. It's not an Akka holster. See that? I made a mistake. This is, the maker is CLG, dated 1944. So that's obviously late war. Threw me off because it really does look like an Akka holster. But overall, in pristine condition, it does have the aluminum stud. The earlier ones were brass. Now, what kind of gun comes inside? Well, right away, I see it has a pinkish hue. You see kind of a reddish hue in here. You can tell it's a late war gun because it has a very thin finish. Here it's worn, thin finish. Here you can see the pinkish hue. Serial numbered here and here, but that was normal by 1944. What makes this special is RFV. Now we did DRP, which is the Postal Department. RFV is the Treasurer, Reichsfinance Bureau. And so we can see that this is marked on the back strap. The earlier ones, the RFV was marked here. This is a correct variation, guaranteed to be all correct and original. Just a really nice find. So we'll put this back on the table and move along to even later, because this has the wooden grips. Actually, this is also 1944, probably late 44, because the plastic resin used some content of oil. They were running low on oil because they needed it for the mechanized divisions. They began to use wood grips toward the end of the war. And so the purpose of that was just to, well, they were running out of resources. You can see it's Waffen stamped, which means it went to the military. And it has a correct original magazine from about 1944. There's the front strap. Hardly any wear. It's just a very thin finish. And you can see the serial is in the 360,000 range. Now we go from very late to very early. This one is actually probably second year of production. The first thing you notice in terms of the early ones, it seems like the serial number is upside down, because when we look at this, you can see, you can read the serial number right side up. Same way with all the others, serial number right side up. But the earliest ones, they reversed the serial number, so it was upside down. I guess they thought it'd be a good idea to turn that around, because when you're firing the gun and you turn like this, you want to see it right side up. Some of the early features, you can see the proof marks are here and here. Normally, they would be in the ejection port and the slide. That's normal. But the earliest ones have the, this is a crown end, and that was eagle end. But instead of being in the ejection port, it's here and here. Now, they started at 250,000. This is 252. So it's the 200,000th, I say that with a list, the 200,000th gun made in the Walther factory. So if not 1929, certainly by 1930 this gun was made. High polish finish, beautiful straps, front and back. That's high polish finish, completely covers, all original. You see the fat safety. Also fire blue, 90 degree instead of 60 degree. Fat, what do I mean by fat? Well, don't call me fat. This is a 60 degree safety, which they went to later. See, 90 degree, 60 degree. Well, let's push them both down. There's the 60 degree, 90 degree. Notice the safety is fat. They used that for a period of time. This was an improvement. I don't know why it's an improvement, but they said this was an improvement. And a lot of them that had the fat safety, they sent them back, had the safeties replaced, because these often would have defects. The other thing you see here is a heavy hammer. Look at it in compared to this. You can see this is actually a lighter hammer because it has a larger hole, smaller hole. They call it a heavy hammer. And it has an enclosed firing pin, which I'm not going to show you right now, but it has an enclosed firing pin. That's an early feature. And the last early feature that I want to mention is the magazine. This is an early magazine. You can see, let's see if we have one here. This is what you're used to in a magazine. It has the indentation. Even the post-war ones have that indentation. This is a slab side because it has a slab side. There's no lip on there, slab side, and an open follower. Open follower doesn't work as well because when you load it in, a lot of times it hits right there. And so they went to a closed follower. That's a 22. That won't look right. Let's do this. They went to a closed follower like that. Can see the difference. So this is a very early magazine. And by the way, this magazine alone, I've paid $450, $500 for one of these early magazines. They're very rare. Okay, the next PP I've already picked up a couple of times just to show you an example, but one thing that's outstanding about this one is serial number here and here. Before they started numbering the slides, and you can actually see how this was added on because the SS contract said they wanted the slides numbered. So if you go to my book, here's a picture of the book about SS contracts. This is a known range for SS contract guns. So this serial number, done in the factory, but probably added after the slide was put together with the gun. They said, oh, let's use this one because the numbering is almost like a halo on it. Here it looks typical. And it does have an SS magazine. It's not matching, but it's in the same range. On the magazine, you see 979, and down below you see 980. So it does not have a matching mag, but it is an SS contract gun with an SS magazine. And the gun itself, the original finish on this gun, it's like 97 to 98%. So it's just, there's no pitting, no cold blue, just almost no patina, just a beautiful blued finish. Let's go to the next one, which I already showed you because I said, oops, this is a 22. And this is just a really nice, same thing, 97, 98, maybe even 99%, just a tiny bit of wear. Just a beautiful example of a 22 caliber. This is Eagle N proofed, so this is made in about 1940. Still has a high polish finish, but it has a wartime proof. And it has a 22 caliber magazine, which I already showed you, quite by accident when I wanted to compare it to the open follower, but that's the 22 caliber magazine. It's very distinct. Because of the smaller round, you can see the spring actually is in here, whereas here the spring, the zigzag spring goes in here. This one, this piece right here, the spring goes up in there. So 22 caliber versus standard 7.65. By the way, this is a Walther banner only, wartime, and this will not have a banner on it because of the indentation. They never stamped those. Now we pull up another PPK. I did a PPK, remember, was the DRP. This one has a marking inside. Not sure about that, but I think that's a German marking having to do with the RZM. This is ACA marked. There's the actual ACA marking. There's a logo here and then DRGM, which just means it was ordered by officials of the Third Reich. And this gun is going to be an RZM. Now, this is a beautiful gun, highly sought after. The RZM marking means it went to the Nazi party or went to party's officials. If you were a member of the Nazi party, you paid your dues and you were entitled to buy this gun. So this is not a party leader. And we've done this before. A lot of people call it a party leader. Now, it could have gone to a party leader, but most importantly, it went to a party member. So once you were a party member, you paid your dues. After, it was like a layaway plan. After you've paid your dues, you pay a little bit extra, at the end of which, when this is all paid off, then you're entitled to the gun, and they would issue the gun with an ACA holster. So this is the RZM. Again, highly sought after. It's in the correct serial range. These were made in 1934 and 1935. The party leader did not come out until about 1938. Party member came out a bit earlier. So they made about 30,000 of these. Most of them are pretty beat up. This one is in remarkable condition. See the front strap, beautiful, no crack here. There's probably little stress fractures, but by and large, there's no cracks. And we'll take a look at the magazine. It would be a Walther banner magazine, which it is. And this finish is about the same as the gun. So very well could be the original magazine. They weren't numbered, so it's hard to know for sure. Beautiful RZM PPK. And that takes us to a later PPK that went to the military. The Waffen stamps, it's Waffen 359. Waffen stamps here and here means that it was issued to the military. Had to have been an officer in the German army because the rank and file would have gotten a 9mm, which was in a previous video. But the officers would get a smaller caliber, and one of their favorites was the Walther PP and PPK. The Walther PP with a Waffen stamp is much rarer than, remember this one? It has Waffen stamps. This is more common, and this is going to sell in the 2,000 range, whereas the PPK More rare will sell in the 3,000 range. This has a unique gray grip, almost black, but not quite. So they went from the brown mottled grip, or like a swirl look to it, to gray, and then dark gray, and then finally black. You've seen those as well. They tend to be end of 43 and then 44. This is probably early 43. Beautiful gun. This, there's no marking on here. It did not go to the Luftwaffe. This is an Army contract most likely, and I already said it would have gone to a German officer. Let's go to the next PP, and you can see the red grip. So again, they started out with black grips for a very short period of time, 1943. They tried the red grip. I have no idea why, but then they went back to black or wooden. So wooden, black, or red. So this is kind of rare because it does have the red grip. It has a very thin finish. I think it's from probably early 43. And it's also special because it's RJ. Now remember, we had DRP, Postal. We had RFV, which was Treasury or Finance Bureau. And finally, RJ is Reichsjustice. So this went to the court system, maybe a court guard, a judge might have this under his robe, but they would carry weapons in case somebody got out of control. They used it as self-protection, but this went to the Justice Department. And so it's kind of a rare, oh, that's a W mag. As soon as I saw the phosphate, I knew it, this magazine's from 1945, W mag, that sells for a little bit of a premium. So we have a 44 gun with a 45 magazine, and I'm not talking about caliber, I'm talking date. So this somebody's going to want because of the RJ marking. Now, we're going to move on to a non-German gun. Here is a Italian gun, obviously Italian Beretta, but it actually went to the German military. And the reason I know that is the stamp for the German military approval, the inspector stamp, is a 4UT in an oval. Hard to see, but right there is the 4UT. And this is from 1944. It's 7.65, and it's an incredible, it's a very dull blue, almost a phosphate finish, but certainly late war, going to the German Army, hardly used. It's got a mirror bore, just a pristine example of a Beretta, 7.65 issued to the German Army. The next one is a Beretta, comes with the original holster, green, because the Italian uniform, they used green holsters. This is a Beretta as well, has a spare magazine, by the way, but this one is more of a high polish finish. Notice the difference. High polish finish versus this dull late war finish. So this is much earlier. We, of course, can read the date, which right here says 1939. This is also 7.65. And this one went to the Italian Air Force. The Flying Eagle with a crown on its head. That's the emblem for the Italian Air Force. Very desirable gun. Look, notice the front strap is beautiful. Back strap, a little bit of patina. Just a gorgeous gun, sells at a premium because it went to the Italian Air Force. Our final small caliber pistol, this did go to the German Army and was made by Mauser. Mauser, of course, also was making the Luger, 9mm. I showed you those in the last video. But they also had officer pistols, and this would be one of them that was issued to a German officer before 1940. After that, they changed this design to an HSC. Now, you can see a picture here of the HSC, has a much more modern, sleek design to it. But before that is the model 1934 Mauser pistol in 7.65. Reason I know it went to the military is right here is a firing proof and the military inspection stamp, which is an Eagle 655. Very few of these went to the military. They weren't real popular, which is why Mauser decided to change the design and come up with the HSC, which is a lot more popular with the German military. It has a bottom release magazine, which I have always found awkward. But it does work. That is the magazine. I don't like the design. I've said that in other videos, and just because that is awkward compared to the push button. Just smooth as silk. Still a very collectible gun. If you want a personal protection piece, I wouldn't recommend this one, but as a collector piece, absolutely love it. The finish on this, all original, beautiful high polish, just a great collector's dream. Okay, that's what I brought with me today. Again, this was a walk-in Wednesday from over a week ago. Sorry I didn't get to it sooner, but this was from one collection. By and large, it was all from one collection, and I wanted you to show you the smaller caliber weapons. We have more to show you, so you probably want to like and subscribe, tell somebody about this channel, and forward them the video. Thanks for watching.